Welcome to QuickBites, public speaking tips and techniques you can digest in 5 minutes or less. Here's your host, Peter George.
When you speak to an audience, should you dress for yourself or for that audience? Should you take the advice from those who say, be authentic? Or should you go by the axiom that you should dress one half step above your audience? Well, here's what I learned many years ago. In my younger days, the 1980s to be exact, I had the good fortune of working at one of the world's most recognized electronics companies. The corporate culture back then was much different from today. If you're old enough, you might remember that for men, suits were a must, and white shirts and power ties were standard. I was new to the company and wanted to meet the players in the area. One of these retailers was a high-end audio store located in a large college town. Every self-proclaimed audiophile in the region knew this store, and most likely had shopped there at one time or another. I called the owner and made an appointment to meet with him. On the day of the meeting, I arrived early. Soon our scheduled time came and went. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour went by. I tried to keep my cool while wondering if something had come up that required the owner's attention or if I was just being iced. Finally, the owner came out onto the sales floor and introduced himself. I was surprised at how young he was, only 7 or 8 years older than I was at the time. I was also surprised when he told me he only had a few minutes to talk. In less than 15 awkward minutes, I was in my car, heading back to my office. Over the next few weeks, I called several times, but couldn't get him to take my call. How rude, how unprofessional, I thought. Then one day, while speaking with a more experienced coworker, I mentioned how frustrated I was. He laughed and asked, "How are you dressed when you went to the store?" Well, knowing the store is high-end and sells expensive gear, I was in my finest suit and tie, I assured him. Again, he laughed. That's your problem. This guy might sell high-end products, but he and his employees are laid back. He saw you as someone who was trying to impress him, a stuffy corporate guy. I thought back to my meeting with the owner, and sure enough, he had been in faded jeans and a t-shirt. So the next day, I dressed in jeans, a t-shirt, sneakers, got on my motorcycle, and drove to the store. It wasn't long before the owner came onto the sales floor and noticed me standing there, helmet in hand. As he walked over to me, the first words out of his mouth were, "What do you ride?" Come to find out, he also rode bikes. From that point on, we developed a solid relationship. In the end, it's up to you to decide what's appropriate for any given audience and occasion. For example, when speaking to a more buttoned-up group, I wear a suit, white shirt, and tie. On the other hand, if it's a more laid-back conference and the audience is wearing chinos and golf shirts, I'm in a sport jacket and either a golf shirt or a button-down shirt with no tie. When you're speaking in front of an audience, your determining factor will always be that audience and what best helps you connect with them. Unless, of course, you're a celebrity, where just about anything goes.
Thank you for devouring another episode of QuickBites. Tune in Monday when you'll hear another episode of Public Speaking with Peter George, and again Thursday for your next episode of QuickBites. Until then, remember, when it comes to speaking in public, you've got this.